Life is much like a flowing river, constantly moving, ever changing, and beyond our full grasp. The moment you try to seize it, to hold it still in your hands, it slips through your fingers like water. This is the illusion of control, the mistaken belief that we can dictate every outcome, force every event. But have you ever noticed that a river does not resist its course? It does not fight the rocks, the twists or the turns. It simply flows. And yet, despite its surrender to movement, it shapes mountains, carves valleys, and nourishes everything in its path. This is the true power of alignment, learning to flow with life rather than against it. When we cling to control, we create resistance. We stress over uncertainties, we fear the unknown, and we exhaust ourselves trying to mold life into a rigid structure that was never meant to exist. But when we let go, when we trust the current, we allow life to unfold in ways far greater than we could have ever imagined. This does not mean passivity or inaction. The river does not simply exist. It moves, it adapts, it carves its way forward. Similarly, we must take inspired action, guided not by fear or force, but by the wisdom of flow. We set our intentions, we envision our desires, and then we trust the unseen forces that guide us toward their fulfillment. The greatest breakthroughs, the most unexpected joys, and the most profound transformations often come when we stop clutching at life with desperate hands and instead open ourselves to its rhythm. So, ask yourself, are you resisting the flow, or are you moving with it? Let go of the illusion of control and watch as life carries you exactly where you are meant to be. Life is not meant to be a constant battle against the tides. It is a vast flowing river carrying us toward destinations we may not yet see. True wisdom is not found in resistance, in clinging to the shores of certainty, or in fighting against the current. It is found in surrender, in allowing life to unfold as it is, trusting that every bend in the river leads us exactly where we need to be. Most people spend their lives grasping for control, fearing the unknown, and resisting change. But have you ever noticed that the more you resist something, the more power it seems to have over you? The tighter you hold on to what should be, the more you suffer when life unfolds differently. The greatest wisdom is not in trying to manipulate every outcome, but in learning to trust the unseen forces that are always at work. Surrender does not mean weakness or inaction. It is the highest form of strength. It is the courage to let go of fear, the patience to trust divine timing, and the understanding that you are always being guided, even when the path is unclear. The seed does not resist the soil. It surrenders, allowing itself to be buried in darkness. Likewise, when you surrender to life's flow, you stop fighting against circumstances and start working with them. Instead of dwelling on why something didn't go as planned, you begin to see how it might be leading you to something greater. You replace frustration with curiosity, resistance with openness, and fear with faith. Look around you. Nature never forces, yet it thrives. The ocean does not resist the waves. The wind does not fight against the sky. Everything in existence flows effortlessly, and it is only the human mind that struggles against the very rhythm of life. So, ask yourself, are you resisting or are you allowing? The moment you release the need for control, life begins to move in your favor. Let go, surrender to the flow, and watch as everything falls into place. Many people approach life as if it were a puzzle that must be meticulously solved, a challenge to be conquered, or a struggle to be endured. They analyze, strategize, and worry over every detail, believing that once they figure it all out, they will finally find peace. But life is not a rigid formula. It is a rhythm, a dance, an ever-moving expression of creation itself. Imagine music playing in a grand ballroom. A dancer does not stop mid-movement to question every step, nor does he demand to know the final note before he begins. He feels the rhythm, surrenders to the melody, and allows himself to be carried by the music. This is how life is meant to be lived, not through resistance and over-analysis, but through flow, presence, and trust. When you see life as a problem, you create unnecessary tension. You become stuck in your mind, trapped in the illusion that every situation must be controlled, every challenge must be wrestled with, and every unknown must be feared. But when you shift your perspective and recognize that life is a dance, you step into a new way of being. You begin to embrace each moment as it comes, moving in harmony with the unfolding of events rather than against them. Dancing requires trust. Trust in the music, trust in your movement, and trust that the next step will come naturally when it is needed. Life operates in the same way. When you let go of fear and embrace the dance, you move effortlessly through change, uncertainty, and even hardship. You no longer see obstacles as barriers, but as part of the choreography, leading you to an even more beautiful expression of yourself. The question is not, how do I solve life, but rather, how do I dance with it? How do you move with grace through the moments of joy, through the challenges, through the unknown? The secret is to stop resisting, stop overthinking, and simply surrender to the rhythm that is always present. So, take a deep breath, feel the pulse of life around you, step onto the dance floor of existence, and allow yourself to move in sync with the grand symphony of creation. Life was never meant to be a burden. It was meant to be danced. Most people spend their lives clinging to people, outcomes, identities, and expectations. They attach their happiness to things unfolding in a specific way, believing that if life does not go according to plan, they have somehow failed. But the tighter you hold on to something, the more suffering it brings when it begins to slip away. True freedom is found not in control, but in detachment. The ability to release expectations and trust the unfolding of life. Detachment does not mean indifference. It does not mean giving up on your desires or withdrawing from life. Rather, it is the highest form of trust. It is knowing that you can have goals, dreams, and ambitions without being enslaved by them. It is understanding that everything in life is temporary. People change, circumstances shift, and the unexpected will always arrive. When you detach, were they carefully orchestrated, or did they arise from unexpected turns? The most beautiful chapters of life often begin with uncertainty, a new opportunity, a chance encounter, a leap of faith. The unknown is not something to be feared. It is the very space where possibility exists. When you demand certainty, you limit yourself to what is predictable, what is familiar. But when you release that need, you open yourself to something greater, something beyond what you could have ever planned. Trusting the unknown requires courage. It asks you to walk forward even when you cannot see the entire path. It asks you to believe that even in the face of uncertainty, life is working for you, not against you. When a seed is planted in the darkness of the soil, it does not resist the unknown. It does not demand to see the sunlight immediately. Instead, it surrenders to the process, knowing that growth is taking place beneath the surface. The same is true for you. Even when you cannot see the full picture, trust that something is unfolding in your favor. The need for certainty is an illusion. Nothing in life is ever truly certain. Plans change, circumstances shift, and the unexpected always arrives. But that is where the magic happens. That is where life reveals its greatest gifts. When you surrender the need to know everything in advance, you allow life to surprise you. You step into a state of flow, where things begin to align effortlessly, not because you controlled them, but because you trusted them. So, what if, instead of fearing the unknown, you embraced it? What if, instead of resisting uncertainty, you leaned into it? The greatest breakthroughs, the deepest love, and the most extraordinary experiences are waiting for you, not in the comfort of certainty, but in the space beyond it. Trust the unknown, and watch as life unfolds in ways you never imagined possible. We have been conditioned to believe that success, love, and fulfillment come only through relentless effort, struggle, and force. We are taught that if we want something, we must fight for it, chase it, and never stop pushing. Yet paradoxically, the more we strain and struggle, the further our desires seem to slip away. It is only when we release the desperate need to control that everything begins to flow naturally into our lives. Consider water. It never forces, yet it moves mountains. It does not struggle to flow, yet it finds its way through every obstacle. This is the essence of true effortlessness. When you let go of resistance, you allow life to bring you exactly what you need, often in ways you never expected. The moment you stop grasping, forcing, and overthinking, you create space for what you truly desire to come to you. Effortlessness does not mean inaction. It does not mean you sit back and do nothing. Instead, it means aligning yourself with the natural rhythm of life. It means acting from a place of inner certainty, not desperation. When you operate from a state of trust, your actions become inspired rather than forced. You move with the flow of life rather than against it. Think about a time when you were in a state of flow, when things just seemed to fall into place effortlessly. Perhaps it was a conversation that unfolded naturally, an opportunity that appeared at the perfect moment, or a dream that materialized without struggle. That was not a coincidence. It was the result of your alignment. When you stop trying so hard, desperation repels, confidence attracts. The more you chase, the more things run from you. But when you embody the feeling of already having what you desire, you naturally draw it toward you. You do not need to force the river to flow. It already knows its course. Likewise, life already knows how to bring you what is meant for you. Your only job is to trust, to act when inspired, and to let go of the need to control every detail. So take a deep breath, release the struggle, trust that what is meant for you is on its way. The paradox of effortlessness is this: when you stop forcing and start flowing, everything you desire begins to find you. easily, naturally, and in perfect timing. In a world that glorifies hustle, struggle, and relentless effort, the ancient wisdom of Wu Wei offers a profound truth. The most powerful actions are those that are effortless. Wu Wei, a Taoist principle, does not mean doing nothing. Rather, it is the art of taking action in perfect alignment with the natural flow of life. It is about non-resistance, about moving with the currents of existence rather than fighting against them. Imagine a river. It does not force its way forward, yet it carves through mountains. It does not resist obstacles, it simply moves around them, adapting effortlessly. This is the essence of Wu Wei. Flowing rather than forcing. When you stop struggling against life and instead align yourself with its natural rhythm, you find that things unfold with ease, without unnecessary strain. We often believe that success and fulfillment require struggle. We push, we force, we resist, thinking that sheer effort alone will bring us what we desire. But have you ever noticed that when you are relaxed and at peace, things seem to come together effortlessly? When you stop desperately trying to control every detail, life has room to work its magic. Opportunities arise, ideas flow, and synchronicities appear, not through struggle, but through alignment. Wu Wei teaches us that true power is found in stillness. It is not about passivity, but about acting from a place of inner calm and trust. It is understanding that the most effective action is often the one that feels the most natural. Think of a skilled martial artist. Rather than using brute force, they move with the momentum of their opponent, effortlessly redirecting energy. They do not resist, they adapt. The same principle applies to your life. The more you resist, the more suffering you create. When you fight against circumstances, complain about what is, or force things before their time, you create friction. But when you surrender to the flow of life, trusting that things are unfolding as they should, you find that doors open effortlessly, and solutions present themselves without struggle. This is not to say that you should be passive or avoid taking action.